And what are some of the magical outcome or magic you've experienced on the other side once you lived your life in such an intentional way?
I think that intentionality has sort of come from the deeper philosophical realization that, we only have one life and that we are authors of our own meaning on this short-lived existence, this little roller coaster ride of humanity that we're all on, right? And so I think I've always sort of had this awareness that life is too short to do the things that I don't want to do. When I first saw that show, thought this was really cool and really amazing, and yet I never thought that I could learn it. And then a few years later, when I was learning other things that were similar, magic, comedy, I sort of just had this switch that flipped in my mind of, wait, if I could learn these other things, I could learn this thing that I've thought was really cool for a long time. And yet I never looked at it initially as something that I could learn or do. But now that I've learned these other things that are similar, why not learn it? And why not do it? And so I sort of just sent this intention of, I want to learn this. Now, I never set an intention of, I want to be the most viral hypnotist on the planet and I want to live in LA and have hypnotized celebrities doing this. I just wanted to make money doing something that I thought was fun instead of make money working for someone else and doing a job that I hated, right? But through just being willing to commit to that journey and that process, it led me down a path that I never thought I would be on, and yet I'm so grateful to be on. But it simply stemmed from that just initial desire to, not want to be doing what everyone else says I should be doing, or not just doing what's important for the money or for this or that, but living life in a way that really makes me passionate and excited about living each and every day, because this is the only life that we have to give or have to live. And so it's important to be able to make the most of that. And so it was through sort of that commitment to live my life intentionally in that way that sort of funneled into those specific things that I wanted to learn, like hypnosis, and has led me to a career that has been way cooler than I ever thought, but just simply through this idea of wanting to make the most out of my life.
Yeah, I know you used to be identified as a Christian, no longer, but unless your last name is Christ, first name is Jesus, you only get one life and one chance at this avenue of life. And I love what you said in terms of when you say yes intentionally and mindfully, life is a total mindfuck. You have no idea what streams of life you're going to swim down towards, but I think that's when the magic happens, is when you move through discomfort, that fear, and when you choose curiosity and intention, which is in your case. So I have a question, because you talked about you didn't want to do the things that other people said you should. You didn't want to adhere and confine your life to the societal norm or these noises according to the societal standards. Your previous banner on YouTube, Zach, is said, "Success in the wrong areas is the ultimate failure." I love that so, so much, because I think so many people forget that you can build and climb up the wrong building. Doesn't matter how tall that building becomes through a lot of sweat, blood, and tears. So can you elaborate that further about why is that of building the wrong type of success is the ultimate failure?
Yeah, I think it just comes down to how you define success, right? People say, oh, they want success and they want achievement and they want fame, but what is that really? Like, what is success to you? Most people will live success to all of these external things, right? They will make this really big salary and they'll live in this really nice house and they'll drive this really cool car, and yet they're so miserable because they're not happy, because they've been striving towards somebody else's definition of success. Oh, success means this, and success means you're better than those around you, and success is money, and success is success, and success is status. But that's not what it means to be successful. When you think of how you define success, think about it in terms of, if you were on your deathbed and you knew you had 5 minutes left in your existence, what would you think back on and be grateful for or be happy for? No one is going to sit back on their deathbed and be like, oh, I'm so glad I slaved away decades of my life so that I could just retire and have a few extra years of fun when I was too old to do the things that I wanted to do when I was younger anyway, right? People are going to look back and they're going to say, I'm glad that I followed my dream. I'm glad that I prioritized relationships. I'm glad that I lived my life intentionally instead of letting somebody else set that intention for me. And there was this really cool study that was done where people were asked on their deathbed the same question of, like, what do you regret the most, or what are your biggest regrets? And that was the number one regret that people had on their deathbed, was, I wish I had stayed true to myself instead of letting everyone else tell me how to live. And I never want to live my life in a way where I look back and I have regrets, right? There will be times where we make mistakes and we learn lessons and we move forward from that. And so I don't look back on any parts of my life and regret them because I know I've learned from them. And yet I don't want to live in this way where I am knowing that I'm not living intentionally to who I want to be. Where at the end of my life I'll say, I wish I had done this differently. And so I look at that quote that I had on my YouTube banner and I have on other places in social, where success in the wrong areas is the ultimate failure. Because so many people are living up to somebody else's definition of success. They're letting the world, they're letting advertisement, they're letting social media, they're letting their parents, their friends, they're letting everything other than the voice they should be listening to within themselves tell them who they should be and how they should be and what a good, successful life looks like. And it's been really neat to have this opportunity where I've done a lot of things in the celebrity world and with celebrities, and I live out in LA. And so I've had the really cool chance to meet a lot of people who have had all of this external success. And yet, the sad thing, if you kind of pull back that curtain, is that most of them are not happy. Most of the most successful people you know, the movie stars, the musicians, they are not happy with their life because they are on set in another country for months and months. They're away from their family. They don't get to do what they love, right? They have this money and they have this status and everyone knows their name, and yet they aren't fulfilled because that's not what success really is. You know, Jim Carrey once said, I wish everybody could have the opportunity to get everything they've ever wanted because they would realize that's not the answer. That's not what fulfills you. That's not success. Yeah, I just always come back to that idea of success in the wrong areas is the ultimate failure because, like you said, it doesn't matter how high you climb. If you're climbing the wrong ladder, you can't win, right? If you're trying to run a race, if you are running in the wrong direction, it doesn't matter how fast you are running. You are still not going in the right direction. So success in the wrong areas is the ultimate failure. You know, there's another variation of that quote that says, I'm not afraid of failure. I'm afraid of succeeding at the things that don't matter, right? So that's one thing I would encourage the people listening to this episode right now is, you know, you may be afraid of failure. You may be afraid of making mistakes, but in all of those failures and mistakes come lessons. They come opportunities. They come chances for growth. And when you think about how much you could really fail, you know, what's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is not you failing. The worst that can happen is you never giving your chance to succeed in the things that truly matter.
Hey Seekers, if you enjoyed watching that short clip, I strongly recommend clicking here for the full-length episode. Here's to discovering more valuable life stories with practical mental health insights. Thank you for watching, and until next time, peace.